All right, so last month, back in September, 60 Minutes aired this special about some of the behind-the-scenes stuff going on with the insurance companies that a lot of people aren't aware of. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know that I talk about this stuff on a daily basis. I deal with this stuff, I see with it, but maybe on a national televised show, we'll give it more credibility that everybody can see nationwide, and it's not just some dirtbag PA over here in Dallas hollering about it. I would encourage all of our professionals to go watch this, homeowners dealing with a claim, roofers, contractors, anybody associated with the insurance industry, anyone who's wanting to get into it, or even some of you staff adjusters that give me a call from blocked numbers every time I post a job opening, so y'all can see what's really going on here. This is common stuff that I see every single day. When my homeowners call me with these stories and they can't believe what they're dealing with, they can't believe what they were told, they can't believe the incompetence or the outright laws, I don't ever want to minimize what someone's going through. I don't ever want to dismiss it, but like I said, I see it every single day. These company yes men have the audacity to go out and tell the homeowners or call me and tell me I'm the reason why insurance premiums are going up. I'm the reason why lawsuits are becoming so common. I'm the reason why deductibles are so much higher. When the fact is, they're the absolute reason. This stuff that they pull here is the absolute reason why me and the good public adjusters out there are needed. They create the necessity for me. Let's take a look at this clip and see what they got to say.
Did you get the feeling, speaking to him and showing him around the property, that he understood?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What was happening?
He said, your house is probably going to need to be completely rebuilt.
So he tells them to their face, hey, we're going to need to rebuild your house. This is, an adjuster on site making an assessment.
Which is why the Rafkins were floored when they finally got a check from their insurance company 3 months later.
Yeah, 3 months later in the state of Texas, you have 15 days to do your inspection and accept the claim and cut a check. So 3 months later, and they go from on site being told we're getting a complete rebuilt to here's $15,000 minus your deductible.
They sent you $15,000.
$15,000, and so the deductible was taken out, so it was $10,000.
Confused, he went back to compare the damage report he wrote for the Rapkins to the one the insurance.
See, I like what he's doing here because that's very typical of what we deal with. I write a 60-page estimate and I get a 3-page going back. And that's why our average return's 240%, because look at the difference. Same format, same program. It's about how you build that estimate in that software. And you can manipulate it like you can anything else. You can say, yeah, I agree you got wood floors here. So then you can put one line item for wood floors and say, look, I paid for your floors. Or you can do it correctly where you have the demolition of the floors, you got the floor, the floor leveler come back, you got the underlayment, the various types of underlayment, you put the floor back, and then you have your detach and reset or repair and replace of your baseboards. Then you're going to cover those floors while you're doing the rest of the work in the house. It's very easy to manipulate that and say, I paid for the subject item. I paid for the flooring. Well, you paying for the flooring is one item, whereas someone who cares, a PA or a contractor who understands construction knows that's a 7, 8, 9, 10 step process, but you want to pay for one step, so you're clear.
Later, Jordan Lee learned a desk adjuster who'd never been to the Rapkins' home had deleted entire sections of his report.
I'm going to go on a rant for a minute, so. All right, so if you guys have watched any of our videos before, you know we go into this a lot about the person who you see on site is more often than not these days, not the decision maker, not the actual adjuster. I'm not going to call this guy a liar. It takes a lot of courage to get in front of a camera, especially on a national audience. He is probably done working in the industry for the carrier side after coming out for this. So, I do have a lot of respect for him coming out and being open about this. Do I think, he said earlier he had been in the business since 2017. Do I think that he's surprised by any of this or really didn't know this was going on? Absolutely not. But this is something that happens every single day on nearly every single claim that we handle here. A field adjuster goes out, and there's two kinds of different field adjusters. There's one that will write everything in the world, promise you the world, everything you want to hear. Oh yeah, yeah. And then sends it off to the desk adjuster, and the desk adjuster just guts that estimate. And then there is the other kind of field adjuster that will come out there and he'll fight with you. And he'll know that what's going to happen to his estimate. He knows the adjuster is going to gut it. But he wants to stand there and act like the big man, like he's making the call. So he'll just tell you, he'll just blatantly ignore damage because he's not going to waste the time writing up on it. But then he tries to make it look like it was his decision. At the end of the day, both guys have the same amount of pool, which is very little. What this guy's dealing with is something very, very typical. He goes over there, hey, your house is destroyed, tells the homeowner, hey, sorry for your loss, you guys are getting messed up, but we're going to take care of you. Writes a full page, a full estimate. Doubt it's as thorough as mine, they never are. But consider, he got most of it, for the most part. He gave him something to work with. Sends it up to a desk adjuster who's working God knows where, anywhere all over the country. Probably not in Florida. No construction experience. Hasn't been on any kind of catastrophe site. And they'll just go through there and just start ripping it, start gutting that estimate, and then they send it to the homeowner. And like these people, they're shocked because they're getting in writing the exact opposite of what they were verbally told on site. So then they call the desk adjuster, and that's how the process starts. They just start the tactics, the delay, the manipulation, the lying. Oh, we'll call our field adjuster. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get a hold of that field adjuster again, especially if it's a third party or an IA. His phone number, this guy cited he left his personal cell phone on all his estimates. Kudos if that's true. Most of the time, they have a corporate number for whatever company they're working for, so you're not going to get a hold of them. Or whatever you have questions you have for him, or if you want to call him to the table for what he told you, which is different than you received, then you got to go through the adjuster. So that's just where the process starts. It's back and forth. Who do I get a hold of? They mom and pop you. Will call this person, or that's his decision. Nobody wants to take, accept responsibility for the decision, and you just go in a big circle. And the next thing you know, it's been 2 or 3 months. Your claim's not paid. You get frustrated. You give up, and just move on. That's the point of this whole process, in my opinion. So a lot of times what will happen is, you'll receive that gutted estimate. The desk adjuster just, red pens it, cuts all this stuff out, sends it to you. Maybe they put their name on it. Maybe they leave the IA's name on it. And then you call them on it. Say, hey, this isn't what I was told. Oh, well, send us some pictures. Let me review whatever you're talking about. Send me some pictures. Their mind's made up. They have a picture. They have a professional picture taker. That's really what an IA is. They have a professional picture taker who went out there and took pictures of all the damage. They have their story, they have their defense, they have their excuses. They're not going to pay you, but you could send more pictures if you want to. I have people comment on my stuff all the time. Oh, well, I sent in a picture and they changed their mind. Okay, great. You're not doing a lot of volume. So that's when the routine will start. Well, send us some more pictures and we'll consider it. They're not reconsidering. Their mind's made up. Or let me get in contact with the IA and see what they say. You can spend months doing that. At the end of the day, they don't want to pay you. They're not going to pay you, and unless you get someone who can defend you, or you educate yourself and you know what you're entitled to, you're getting what they give you.
Were any of your reports changed to give the policy owner more money?
No.
It was always down.
It was always down.
Down by as much as 98%.
So I keep a running tab year over year for what we handle every year, and I've made videos before, and people have got on here and just making stuff up and just pulling numbers out. These are the insurance carrier's numbers. These are their person, their IA, their third party that they're paying to write, and that's what. And look how they're undercutting them themselves. These are not my numbers. These are their numbers. And I do the same thing, keeping tabs of it, and that's why I tell people our average for 2024 this year is 260% return over what the initial payment from the insurance carrier is. Some of it is thousands of percentages more.
One estimate he wrote for $488,000 was changed to $13,000.
I see this all the time, every single day, and the more extensive your claim is, obviously, the more skewed these numbers are going to be. But just off the top of my head, I had a water leak the other day, busted water heater, initial carriers $5,600. We settled at $144,000. We have a commercial claim, a roofing contractor that actually works with us quite a bit had his building tore up. Insurance comes out 60 grand. We settled for nearly 600 because they just have no idea what they're talking about. They're not doing the research. They're not digging into stuff. They're not listening to engineers. If they even consult them, the name of the game is what can we come out here and visually put what can we visually see? What's the cheapest Band-Aid we can put on it and move on from these people? On these numbers here, you're always going to have normally your craziest jumps are going to be on water claims because there's so much hidden damage in a water claim, material soaking in water getting behind different structures, different substrates. It goes on and on. So, if you think about it, an adjuster wants to come in and mop up the floor and clean out the water, and once it's dry, you're good. But they're not looking into what's trapped under your tile, what's in the thin set, how much of that stuff's absorbed in your sheetrock and wicked across the space. Is your carpet delaminating? Is your wood floors cupping and pulling apart? Are your cabinets swelling? All these things that a typical homeowner is not going to know, or may take a little bit of time to actually show up. They're not looking for all that stuff. They're coming in here and saying, oh, hey, we got that puddle of water out of here, then we're good. And that's why these numbers, I know they're far-fetched, and I know it seems like crazy high numbers, but we back up every single thing that we do. We document every single thing that we do, and we can prove and justify every single dime that we get from the insurance company.
2 other adjusters testified to Florida lawmakers.
There was a deliberate scheme to do this. And it wasn't just with one carrier doing this. This was 6 carriers that we discovered were doing this.
So if you want to throw shade at me, and everybody has an opinion about a public adjusters, and they're all bad until you need one. If you don't want to take my word for it, that's fine. But here's a licensed guy that's worked for all the carriers that he's saying. He's been on that side, and he's telling you. So don't take my word for it. He's talking about the systematic scheme. He's providing his proof and showing you what he saw. And I want to bring to light that, the subject of this show is a major catastrophic event. But what they're talking about and what they're doing and what this guy's bringing to light here happens, where we are here in DFW every single day. On what you would think is a run-of-the-mill claim. Homeowners with water leaks in their house, roof. Man, the roof scams are brutal. Cars driving through your house, tree falling on your house, your standard fire. It happens every day, so don't think that just because you're not in a catastrophe, that means that they're not doing this to you. I would even say that at times for your run-of-the-mill claims is that it's a lot worse, because when you have these catastrophes, it's all hands on deck. A lot of the carriers are sending guys from all over. You got IAs coming from all over. And people are, they're blowing and going. You got to get through these claims. You got to get them filed. You got to get them through, processed, all that stuff. When there's no catastrophes going on, and it's slow, you got a bunch of guys sitting around not doing nothing, and they have the time to just, try and squeeze the life out of every single claim. They fight every single thing. They pull all the stops when they get bored. So don't wait for a catastrophe. Don't think that just because We're not in the middle of a national emergency that you're going to get treated right. It's honestly the exact opposite.
In the state of Florida, they all got the memo. We're not going to replace roofs.
That happens every single day here where we are in North Texas. It's one of the more heavily hail zones in the country. Roofs are a big deal for us. They're a large percentage of our workload because there are so many roofs and there is so many hail damage, and I see this stuff every day. I have three, and I'll just go ahead and say it. I have 3 State Farm claims on one street, and they all get treated the exact same way. I believe in this guy 100% when he's telling you there are blanket statements, there are blanket policies that are made, especially at the time of an event when something happens. Is hey, here's what we're doing. It's you see the same pattern over and over again. Like I said, I got 3 on the same roof, 2 on the same street. 2 are right next to each other, and then one's right across the alley from those 2. Same adjuster, same identical damage, same estimate pretty much. We'll pay for a little bit of collateral here, 1 or 2 mission shingles, and all 3 of these roofs are blasted, and all 3 of these roofs ended up getting bought in appraisal without going to the umpire. And then that happened in Mesquite, and then about 45 minutes away, closer to where I live in Greenville, I had another cluster of them pop up, and you do your research and you find out it's either the same IA or the guys working for the same company, and you see the exact same thing clustered up 45 minutes away because that adjuster was given an agenda or created an agenda, and that's how he handled it. His mind was made up before he had got on a single one of those roofs. Luckily for us in our company, we have a broad reach. We have jobs right now just in the state of Texas I got a handful in Tyler, and I'm headed to McAllen later this week because we're successful and our process works, and we have a large book of clients now.
It's illegal because when I go out to make a damage estimate, I have to put what the damage is, not what they want the damage to be.
So I deal with this, I get this question a lot from customers, and they will tell me this exact scenario. How is it not illegal what this man is doing or what this adjuster is doing? How is he going to sit here and see this obvious damage and lie about it or exempt it or exclude it from my claim? And the truth is that's a double-edged sword of the process. Is it's subjective. So what I know as a construction expert, spending my whole life in construction, I know what water damage looks like. I know, hey, this was caused by damage, or I could say, hey, this is old, or I know the difference between granular loss on a shingle and in a hail strike. I get challenged on it every day. Some people really believe that they're correct, and some people know that they're not correct, but they have to put up an argument. But the point is it's subjective. So they can send somebody out there who understands policy language, but has no construction background, and they go through their program, their training program, and they show them, hey, this is what we're telling you hell looks like. And if it doesn't look exactly like this, like our little photos that you keep in your little notebook while you're out on site, if it doesn't look exactly like that, then here, it's a list of all these other things that aren't covered. So they're not lying. A lot of them are just ignorant and they don't know what hell is. So they don't have to lie. They're just saying, hey, that's not what my trainer told me on my weekend hell course. So we can't pay it. So there's no crime there. They didn't lie. They don't know. They don't know the whole process. Just like, again, back to my floor example, they don't know that flooring is actually a 7, 8, 9, 10 step process. All they know is, well, I can see wood floor here, so we'll pay for that. But that's it. And so that's how they get around some of this. Well, how is this not criminal? How are they not blatantly lying? How could they do that? It's subjective, and it's subject to what they know and what they are aware of, which in most cases is very little.
To be. And so if I leave something off that's supposed to be on there, I can be prosecuted for that.
So the company's
Yeah,
telling you
but
to leave the
again,
roofs off.
if you leave something off you know supposed to be on there, prove that they knew that was part of their process. And a lot of these guys, again, that does happen. They absolutely do lie, especially a good, experienced desk adjuster who still doesn't know construction, but they know what a complete estimate is. They'll still mark stuff off, and they'll still cancel out. And then you go and you can blame it on the IA who just didn't know that, you had to prep, a concrete floor before you lay down your wood substrate, or they didn't know that when you do a flood cut and you repair a part of your sheetrock, maybe you do a 2x2 a 4 square foot patch. Well, your typical guy's not going to know that you can't patch that up. It's not going to match. You need to do the whole wall or that texture is going to be off. Or you can't spot paint a wall that is adjacent to a window that's been sun faded for the past 6 years. It's not, you can go get the exact same color match. You can go to Sherwin-Williams and get the exact same code and mixed on the exact same machine. You might even find the exact same employee still working there. That paint is not going to match. So you need to go wall to wall. A desk adjuster who's got any time reviewing claims, reviewing estimates from professionals and PAs and seeing things go to lawsuits and seeing appraisal process play out, they know that's what you're entitled. They know that's what you need to do. But again, an IA that just finished his 40-hour online adjuster course 3 days after the hurricane hit, he's not going to know that. So he didn't lie, he just doesn't know any better. He sent it to the desk adjuster, and just like the guy on this film, the desk adjuster leaves the IA's name on there. So, if you have a difference of an opinion, you need to call the other guy. It's just a circle. And so who do you prosecute? Who do you put that crime on? Who's actually the liar? Who's actually the dumb one here? We don't know. All we know is that the homeowner's paying for it in the end.
What they've said was, if the policyholder needs a new roof, then we're going to make them make us pay. In other words, file a lawsuit, and then we'll pay you for your roof.
Now, I've never heard anyone, outright say that, but it's definitely the feel that we have. It's definitely when you're on roof after roof with the same carrier, with the same blatant obvious damage, that they're going to lose. You begin to develop those feelings. You do feel like that, there's no way they could actually defend this process. But, they know the game. There's other ways to get out of it. Here we are sitting here in October, and I'm running about 200 claims right now. That's a drop in the ocean to how many policies are actually out there, and how many homes are actually covered, and how many people are actually getting treated this way by the insurance company. So if me and the other good ones like me make up a very, very small percentage of people who actually defend themselves, then the law of large numbers will tell you that the insurance company's onto something here with these blanket policies, because even the few that get contested, they're so far ahead on the people who don't know that they have options to fight back, or who don't know how to protest a decision, or don't know to go out and get help, or don't know someone like me exists, that it makes it worth it to them to just try this policy. Just throw it out there and deny everybody, because the very small percentage that fight back, they may win, they may not, but it's worth it. We don't know who's going to fight and who's not, so just deny them all, because we'll come out ahead. The other thing these insurance companies know, especially in where we are in DFW, we're not to get into politics or reasons why, but we're a positive budget state. We have the money here. We have the resources. We have the economic opportunities for a lot of people. And some of these claims, especially a roof claim or a small claim, most of these claims are just too small for an attorney to take on. Most of the attorneys that we work with are $100,000, $150,000 minimum. So, if you have an average, $35,000 roof is about what it costs, these days. The carrier knows that it's just simply not worth it. You're not gonna find an attorney who's gonna go take on um, a 2-year lawsuit so he can get your a percentage of $35,000 at the end of the day, and they know that. So go ahead and challenge them. Go ahead and fight them. They got way more money than you. They got way more time than you. Good luck finding representation. Good luck, however you want to go about it. Good luck 2 years from now thinking that you're going to come out ahead. They got you.
I now have evidence in 6 different states of where carriers are manipulating the estimates, changing them, and then misrepresenting to policyholders that it's the work product of the field adjuster.
So the software program that we use, that almost 99.9% of insurance industry professionals use, is a program called Xactimate. Everybody uses the same thing. There's one major carrier who uses a different one, and it's because it's well-known, documented fact. It's a 20% difference, lower pricing. Most contractors that work as preferred vendors or do a lot of insurance work learn the software program too for Xactimate. And Xactimate it's a real good baseline. Again, it helps that everybody pretty well agrees that it's the gold bearer for the industry. So you put all your information in there, and it's based off a zip code, and it's got pretty close pricing, so that it's just unrealistic for an adjuster to go and get a line item price for every single item or every single aspect of your home or the construction process or whatever. So we use this program that's pretty close, and it's pretty good. Now, if you have something really high-end, something custom, something unique or different, I'm dealing with a log home right now, and there's just not a lot of good pricing on that, so we will have to step out and get some more specialized pricing and estimate done on that. But back to what they're saying about these field adjusters versus the desk adjusters. So when you create this estimate, it's just like any other software. You can get a copy of it, a digital copy of it that is uneditable. It's a PDF, or you can send it in an editable form. In most carriers, when I get into a negotiation with a carrier or their representation, or I'm working with a contractor, most people want to send the editable version to everybody, so that you can get in there as quick as possible, change some stuff, and go back and forth, and you can negotiate that way, or you're 75% in agreement, so you send it to yours, and instead of me writing 100% of an estimate, let me change my 25% or whatever. And if you're working with 2 decent people that you can trust, then no big deal. But to what they're saying here, that's what they're doing. The field adjuster is required to send in an ESX. So you send in your ESX with your name and all your information on it. And then, like I said, Jerry over in Pennsylvania or something, who knows what's expected of him by his supervisor, just goes in there and just starts butchering that thing, delete, 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 delete. And then, bam, let me send it to the homeowner with your name still on it.
You're not allowed to take somebody who has dutifully paid premiums for years, and when they need their insurance, cheat them and shave 70, 80, or 90% off their claim. You're not allowed to do that.
I hear this, again, every single day from our clients when we're calling homeowners trying to get them signed up, or a contractor, somebody's referred them to me. Well, I paid my premiums for 30 years. I've been with X and X for so long. I've never missed a payment. They're going to take care of me. Or my agent is in my Sunday school class, or my agent, or our kids, we're on the high school, cricket team together or something. And And they're always so heartbroken to know that when an insurance company calls me about a customer, it's a claim number. You are a claim number. I have to call sometimes because I treat people with respect, so I call them by their name. So I have to have an adjuster clarify to me, like, hey, these people aren't, this isn't their inmate number. I need to know what this person's name is. You know, I need to know that, you know, we're even talking about the same person. Or a lot of people say, well, I'm going to call my agent. My agent's going to take care of it because, you know, we do crochet together on Sundays or something. And, you know, your agent legally cannot be involved with the adjusting side of things. Most of them don't get treated any better than you. Most of them have no say-so, no pull. They'll call over. They know they can't talk to them. Maybe they can have their supervisor call their supervisor, and then, well, we'll look into it for you. We'll review it again for you. I have people all the time, you know, it's been 2 or 3 months, their house is falling over, mold growing, you know, been without all their necessities, been without use of their house. And I say, listen, if you sign my contract, I can get started right today. Well, you know, we're waiting. We sent in those last couple of pictures, or our agent's looking into it, and then they're going to get back to us. You know, you're only prolonging your suffering. Their mind's made up.
We know fraud's investigated all the time when it comes to homeowners, right? You know, that if you put in a false claim.
Contractors and public adjusters, everybody who's aligned with the consumer who cost the insurance industry money. Those cases get investigated and prosecuted rather quickly and aggressively.
This is facts here. So, you know, as a PA, a public insurance adjuster, I get hate all the time. I get called names all the time. Sometimes even contractors until they figure out, you know, that they need us. But definitely from the carriers, definitely by the adjusters. Carriers will always call a homeowner and tell you to watch out for the scam, watch out for the scum. These people will take your money. You're paying them out of pocket. They're already going to take care of you. You know, we get called everything, every name in the book until I hit a home run, until I have people calling me, hey, will you know, I got this, will you take my granddaughter to dinner? Hey, you're such a good guy. We'll come have dinner with us. Or, hey, we just had a baby. Look at our family. And I appreciate it. And I love it. And that's where it always ends. But that's the exact opposite of how it started, because we have such a bad reputation because of the carriers putting out that reputation. Just like this guy saying, the carrier is going to go after everyone and their lobbyists and you know, the media who they're the largest purchaser of advertising space from is these insurance carriers. They are absolutely going to go after everybody who can help you, anybody that's going to cost them money.
I can put my whole arm up through here.
That split roof is an open wound for the Rapkins, who still have to mow the lawn and make mortgage payments on their rotting home every month.
Something getting more common here in North Texas that we've dealt with for the first time this year is we have homeowners receiving letters from the city. Now they're getting citations and violations for having tarps up too long or having missing shingles, when a lot of the times it's these are responsible homeowners, these are respectable neighbors who do care about their appearance and do want their home put back together, but they don't have a claim settled yet because they got to pay. They're going through the process with the insurance company. So and the insurance company banks on all of these things and these stretching it out and drawing it out because they know your house is sitting there deteriorating while you're going through this process. And they know most average responsible homeowners cannot stand to see their house looking like that. They know that these cities are cracking down and they're not going to let you have a tarp on your roof for 2 years while you're going through your lawsuit. So then you pay out of pocket and get the tarp removed, get the roof replaced, and then their defense comes back and, oh, well, look, you destroyed evidence, case closed. You know, they know that, and that's why they're stretching these things out. You see a lot of examples on this program where there's a big gaping hole in the roof, and now their sheetrock is, you know, pink and green and black because of the mold. Well, sorry, you don't have mold coverage. And that's true, you don't have mold coverage, but that's water damage. That mold was it's damage caused by water. But again, if you don't know how to play their game, anything you do they're going to use against you. Anything they do is an out. I have homeowners all the time, and they're doing the right thing. They're mitigating as much damage as possible. They're covering up as much as they can. They're putting their dryers in there, before the insurance company can even get out there, because they want to handle this thing at the lowest level possible, and then they're penalized for that. They're punished for that. The insurance company says, oh, well, no. You tore up that roof when you got up there yourself. This is foot traffic. You were dragging tarps and hammers and dropping nails on your roof. Or, yeah, I believe you. Maybe your drywall did get wet, but it's dry now, so I can't pay you. And then they leave, and a month later your cabinets swell. A month later your baseboards let go because they're swollen, and then you got mold back there, which is really water damage. And then they call and say, oh, sorry, you don't have mold coverage, can't help you. It's all part of the plan.
Heritage says that since Hurricane Ian, it has made many reforms, including updating its claims processing software, which it blames for not including the names of desk adjusters who altered reports.
Do you think that was a mistake?
It's all about the manipulation of the software program. There is a blank, and the thing about this program is if you don't fill in the blank, then it doesn't show you a blank. It just doesn't print out a blank on the report. But there's reminders in the program every time there is a blank. You'll get a little red warning, or you'll get a little pop-up that says, hey, this is left blank, or this is incomplete, or this isn't done right. And to the point where it's very annoying. But yeah, there is no, oh, we didn't realize this, we didn't realize that. They left a blank off. The blank doesn't get printed on the report.
Like just an innocent mistake?
Originally I did. I said, oh, maybe they made an error.
And what do you think now?
I think they did it on purpose, and I think people are getting letters that say they're not covered when they are. This is a con. That's what this is. This is make them go away at all costs. We're not paying.